The year was 1965, and the United States was a nation in flux. Amidst the social upheaval for men, William, Michael, Jack, and Edward gathered in a dimly lit room of a secluded hotel on the outskirts of a small, nondescript town. The air was thick with tension and the scent of stale cigarettes. They were there for one purpose: to plan the perfect heist. William, the de facto leader, stood at the head of the table, his sharp eyes scanning the faces of his accomplices. He was a man of calculated precision, his every move deliberate. Michael, the muscle of the group, sat with his arms crossed. Jack, the youngest and most hesitant, fidgeted nervously, his eyes darting around the room. Edward, the brains behind the operation, leaned back in his chair, his fingers steepled as he listened intently. "The target is a small but wealthy company," William began, his voice low and steady. "They handle large cash transactions, and their security is lax. We hit them at night when the building is empty. Michael, you'll handle the safe. Edward, you'll disable the alarms. Jack, you'll be the lookout." Jack's face paled. I don't know if I can do this," he stammered. "What if something goes wrong?" William's eyes narrowed. "Nothing will go wrong if we stick to the plan. But if you can't handle it, say so now. We don't need any loose ends." Jack swallowed hard and nodded, though his unease was palpable. The night of the heist arrived, and the group moved with precision. The hotel, isolated and shrouded in darkness, was the perfect staging ground. They had chosen it for its seclusion, but now, as they prepared to execute their plan, the isolation felt more like a prison. Edward disabled the alarms with ease, and Michael cracked the safe open in minutes. The money was theirs, and for a brief moment, it seemed like they had pulled off the perfect crime. But as they returned to the hotel, the tension began to rise. Back in the hotel room, the group counted the money, their faces illuminated by the dim glow of a single lamp. The pile of cash was larger than they had anticipated, and the sight of it stirred something dark within them. Jack's fear had only grown since the heist. "We need to split the money and get out of here," he said, his voice trembling. "This is too dangerous." William's eyes flashed with anger. "We stick to the plan. We wait until the heat dies down, then we disappear. But if anyone tries to back out now..." He let the threat hang in the air. Michael and Edward exchanged uneasy glances. They had trusted William, but now his control over the situation felt more like a noose. As the days passed, the group's paranoia grew. Jack's fear became a liability, and William began to see him as a threat. One night, William slipped a sedative into Jack's drink, ensuring that he would remain docile and out of the way. But the sedation only heightened the tension. Michael and Edward began to question William's motives. "What if he turns on us next?" Michael whispered to Edward. "We can't trust him." Edward nodded, his mind racing. "We need to get out of here, but we can't leave without the money." The breaking point came when Jack stumbled upon William. Jack, groggy and disoriented, accused William of planning to cut them out. William's response was swift and brutal. He grabbed a knife from the table and plunged it into Jack's chest, silencing him forever. The room fell into a stunned silence as Jack's lifeless body crumpled to the floor. Michael and Edward stared in horror. You killed him," Edward whispered. William wiped the blood from his hands, his expression cold. "He was a liability. Now, we need to get rid of the body and stick to the plan." The murder shattered what little trust remained among the group. Michael and Edward knew they were next. They began to plot their escape, but William's control was absolute. He had the money, and he had the power.